Hi again. So I've ridden my project, my own custom-made built bike, now for 4,500 kilometers. So it's high time I'm giving you guys an update on how it rides and all the parts, how they have been holding up. So let's just go through the whole bike bit by bit, and I'll tell you how my experiences were. So I guess we start with the frame, since that's probably why most of you are here. So the frame has been holding up perfectly. I still think it rides very stable. It's very easy to ride. It's very easy to ride in a straight line. It's also very easy to take corners. It doesn't feel like twitchy or nervous. It's just a very good frame to do all sorts of riding. It's also quite comfortable on cobbles and so on. So a couple of very minor issues that I had after a bunch of rides. A bit of a creak developed in the headset area, and that was basically just I had to re-torque, retighten all the bolts, and then that was gone. So that was probably just just everything just settling in and finding a bit of loosening itself after a bunch of rides. And after about 1,000 kilometers, I thought first it was more serious. The bottom bracket sometimes had a bit of a creak, not that much, just like a few clicks as I was standing out of the saddle. So what I did there was, so it's a screw together system, so with the two cups screwing into each other and holding themselves against the frame. So I just screwed them together one half a turn, like a bit more, and since then that problem is also totally fixed. So I think it's the same issue after 1,000 kilometers. The screw together system just found a little bit of wiggle room, and that caused for a little bit of sound, but just a little bit more pressure, and that's fixed now. So I guess that's about it for the frame. Let's move on. So drivetrain wise, of course, Shimano Ultegra, can't say much about it except that it's perfection. Shifting is just super crisp. Maybe so I have full outer cable housing that go from the shifter all the way through handlebars, all the way through the two derailleurs, and I really think that's the way to go. It's super crisp. I think I gave the derailleur like super tiny turn, but having done 4,000 kilometers without almost any adjustments is awesome. I have taken apart my old bike, who had, like, let's say the more normal cable housing with parts of cable housing and then parts through the frame and then a cable stopper and so on. And the problems and the sort of roughness it develops sort of at the edges of the cable housing. So since there's no edges here, I think it will last a much longer time and will stay smooth also for a much longer time, I think. So I'm happy. Or should I say I'm not disappointed that I didn't go for electric, since I can't imagine. I mean, I can imagine it's even smoother, of course, but I can't imagine it being better than this. It's just I still have to use my fingers, but that's about it. And then I guess the bar tape, Supercast bar tape, very nice, very grippy and cushiony. Love that. Vittoria Corsa tires here, very nice as well. no issues with them whatsoever. Also the latex tubes inside, great. Life is too short not to ride latex in the tubes, I think. Or that's my my experience now. And then the wheels, so the deeper carbon wheels, I love the look of them, love the sound of them. I like riding them, but in the beginning I did feel the wind catching your front wheel if you have like strong side winds. So I was like a bit worried. But as you ride it more and more, you just get used to it, and you don't. How should I say? Like you subconsciously just adjust for it, and your steering just takes it into account, and it just becomes very easy to ride in straight lines without any issues. So don't be too afraid of deep wheels in the wind. Just hold on to your handlebars and you can ride in a perfectly straight line, no problems. So bottle gauges, those are fine. I did upgrade with a 4-eyes power meter. I didn't do that at the start, but I have power numbers now. But so the cabling, that's maybe one thing. So the cabling going through all these bends, that causes no issues at all. And I love the clean front end here. I wouldn't want to have a bike with a bunch of spaghetti at the front anymore. I'm sorry, but that I wouldn't want that anymore. But it did take like maybe an hour longer to build the bike, but in my opinion, totally, absolutely worth it. And as you can see here, I have a little bit of a tower now, so I took out a spacer, so I have a bit more, the handlebar is a bit lower now. So of course I had to take the entire handlebar off the steer tube, and to raise it that much, you of course have to stretch the cables. Well, you don't really stretch them, but I mean raise the cables, and the cables that go through the frame, they have plenty of they have a bit of slack enough to allow that, but the cable that goes through the front brake, that's a pretty straight line, so that didn't have enough slack. So I just took off the brake itself, didn't disconnect any wires, just took off the brake itself, so this cable could I could just raise this a bit. In total it might have taken me 15 minutes perhaps, instead of maybe 5 minutes or something, or 10 minutes with a bike with external cables. So really not that bad. I guess the last thing, so also really happy with my handlebars, which are 38 centimeter width, but a 12 centimeter stem. So that's quite a weird, or not so common dimension, but it fits me perfectly well. But you can't find those bars everywhere, not integrated, at least. Of course, you can find a separate stem and handlebar, then it's no problem, obviously. Lastly, something that's totally new for me were the disc brakes, and not to get too much in the disc brake death squad or rim brake defense force discussion, but I was on the fence about which braking system to go for, since I live in a pretty flat area, and rim brakes have always served me perfectly well. They're considerably cheaper still, do you really need disc brakes unless going down long windy hills. Yeah, I didn't know, but to be honest, I went for disc brakes for a few reasons, mainly that I wouldn't have to brake on carbon rims, so that's no problem, and also to allow for full integration. So that's also not possible, of course, with a rim brake. With a rim brake, you're always going to have some cables. But I have to say, I'm very happy I jumped the fence on the side of the disc brakes, since I really couldn't go back to rim brakes anymore. How should I say it? Of course, rim brakes brake enough, right? Like they stop you, that's not the problem. But the level, just the level of control that you have with disc brakes is just so much more refined and subtle. It's like almost you have a direct connection from your brain to the speed that you're riding. And yeah, you can just take like corners and so on. You can just take them much more aggressively, and it just becomes a joy to, brake late, and to just take corners as aggressively as you want, you can just, like, during cornering, you feel that you're going just a bit too fast. You can just take it down a notch and just go the perfect speed that you want. And I never had that feeling with rim brakes. And recently I took my old rim brake bike to the Ardennes, where it's lots of hills, of course, lots of descents, and I was really crying out for disc brakes. Not that rim brakes don't stop you, not that you can't do those descents, but just the level of confidence that you can have, and the level of aggressiveness that you can ride is just different. Ride rim brakes if you want, if you don't have trouble with them. But I'm happy that I jumped on the side of disc brakes, and that I didn't stick with rim brakes, and I won't go back. But ride any system that you want. But that's my experience. So I'm just telling my experience about this whole project. But to be totally fair, when I was setting up the disc brakes, I did doubt that decision a little bit, as they are, of course, more tricky to set up. Like I got some rubbing on the front. Apparently the front rotor wasn't straight. I noticed that and straightened it out. Then I fixed that. I had a squeaking on the back brake, and the issue that I had, I couldn't fix it by just cleaning it a bit, so I tried different methods that I found online. Eventually I fixed it by really just soaking the disc pads in some alcohol for like a night. So just cleaning them didn't do the trick, but soaking them, that totally fixed it. So I now have silent braking on both sides, and very happy with the brakes. So that's everything I can tell you about it. And I'm very happy with the project. I wouldn't swap it out with a $4,000, $5,000 euro bike. Definitely not the way it comes stock. And if you want to go for a project like this, it will take you a lot of time, and you'll have to research a lot of stuff, but absolutely go for it. You'll be very happy, and you can build a bike without compromises. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.